Okay, hey everybody, it's me again, Diane O'Brien, your headhunting housewife here. This is session 4 of a 10-part series on how to be a home-based recruiter or headhunting housewife. It was supposed to be 10 quick clips, but my sessions here on getting clients are running a little bit long, so I think I'm actually session 4. This is already 4C, I guess we'll call it. We did 4A as far as it's getting clients and how to start that, to then 4B was when you get to the human resource manager, which will be key. And this one will be 4C, covering, it's not an HR manager, but the actual hiring manager, the person doing the hiring. Could be a CEO, could be a sales manager, could be just a manager of a certain department. So that's what I'll keep this clip to. And after this, then I'm going to take clip 5 or session 5 going into the candidate side, because once you get the client, you have to find the candidates. So anyway, so here 4C, if we cover the HR manager, and that's great, you're going to need to know how to do that. However, I have found that my success hasn't lied as much with dealing with the HR managers, although I've had that, like I mentioned, a couple clients, and I can probably name 5 or 6 companies where I did make placements, especially the larger companies sometimes, like the Siemens and Philips and GE and mid-sized companies, I think even like the Medtronics and IBMs, obviously the large ones, they all did go through HR at some point. But ideally, your goal would be to get to the the actual hiring manager. And depending upon a company culture, it works differently. And it's interesting how that works. You're gonna have to put your contract in place with the HR manager. Often you start there. Sometimes you even end there. I have a client, Florida Power and Lighting. Who basically, the general manager I knew back from my days working at GE Capital Direct as a salesperson right out of college, which was back in when I graduated college, 90, 95, 96 time frame. And all these years later, here I guess about maybe, was it a year or two ago, he had called me to recruit in the clean tech side for their clean tech division. And basically, even though I started with him being the general manager of a large company like Florida Power and Lighting, I ended up kind of going downhill to go to their, not downhill, but go to their contracts department to put the contract in place. From there, went to the hiring, or the human resource manager, down to their recruiter. Now, when I had a conference call, kind of how I work things now, I basically let the recruiter that would actually be doing the work speak to their recruiter, Darren, who did the work on their side, and kind of connected the two of them. I would speak more frequently just early on with the manager, and then really my main contact again was the general manager who kind of got us in there. And so you'll come about job orders in different ways, probably depending upon the time in your career. When you're just starting out, like I think who I'm talking to right now, you're going to be all over. You're not passing off business to anybody because it's your baby, and you just don't have the luxury of any mistakes being made at all. It's a little bit different for what I'm doing now, and haven't been able to pass some things off, and just certain parts of business kind of are more fun to me lately. However, if you can get to the actual hiring manager and build that relationship there, that'll serve you really well, because often you can get into makes the hiring quicker because you're dealing one-on-one with the decision maker, and that's what's key. Who's deciding, who's hiring the person. That's the person you want to pick their brain, what they're really looking for, separate from the job description. So for me, even though I kind of started out in large company Fortune 100 environments, and even when starting my own business recruiting business, I still hired for them. I was also hiring for a lot of small little companies. Fusion, again, being a small company that partnered with a large company, was a great first client of mine. It was my employer years back, and then many of the managers that I knew, colleagues, I was able to start recruiting and hiring for, and that was great because I was the HR person there before. So now the new HR girl was someone that I had trained. And she was more than happy with knowing that I trained her in her position before I left. In fact, I didn't resign until she was up and ready to take over for me. And so she was more than happy to just pass me right along to the managers, made her job easier. She knew what I was doing, and to get the job done. So whenever you can do that, that's really beneficial. It's hard to happen, but if you just find 1 or 2 companies, that's all you need. You need one company that trusts you. And I said this to a recruiter a couple days ago. Working with Air Products, that is just trying to really make that his baby and the bread and butter for the next many years. And you just want to really take care of them. So separate from the HR that you might deal with, or the contracts department, the guys doing the hiring, the decision makers, make them your best friend. Those are the face-to-face meetings. Those are the guys you want to ask for a cup of coffee if you're in town, which you'll just so happen to be in town, so you can have that relationship. And that's the way you work it. And again, I'll cover clips in more detail, or hopefully have something written up for you at some point, going over once you have those meetings how that should be played out. You're going to be smart and strategic again during your live time with those people, but that's what you're targeting. So hopefully that was helpful as far as getting the candidate, or I'm sorry, getting the clients. And I'm going to go now to session 5. I'm actually going to make on the contracts, because before you go to find your candidate, you need to know about the contract. So that'll be quick, and then we'll get right into finding the candidates to close the job order, finally make your first sale, which is what we're all here for. So talk to you soon. Bye.